Ole Miss rebounded to beat the Memphis Tigers 7-1. There's been some three outcome hitting in this game, but the pitching staff was fantastic as the Rebel Twirlers owned the box tonight to rebound and get ready to get into conference play. We'll talk about that and more. This is the Locked On Ole Miss podcast.
You are Locked On Ole Miss, your daily podcast on the Ole Miss Rebels. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to the Locked On Ole Miss podcast, the most watched Ole Miss podcast out there. I'm your host, Stephen Willis, a 10-year veteran member of the national media with Yahoo Sports and a former Ole Miss football staff member. We're part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Now it's the number one sports podcast network in America. That's because of fans like you taking in content like this. On today's show, we'll be talking about Ole Miss's 7-1 win over the Memphis Tigers. Judd Utermark having an amazing game, including a couple of light tower moonshot home runs. We'll talk about that. Topher Jones hit a home run as well. And the Ole Miss pitchers, absolutely fantastic tonight. They deserve all the credit. A lot of the mistakes that we saw in the Coastal Carolina game got taken care of. There are some echoes of problems still involved. We'll talk about that as well. All of this and more on today's Locked On Ole Miss podcast. Remember, we're free and available on all the podcast apps and on YouTube. And a special hello to the insiders and everydayers who make the show what it is, your team every day. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. FanDuel is giving you a way to turn that energy into a bigger potential win with college basketball parlay profit boost. Head to FanDuel.com to get started. So Ole Miss was able to win the game today against the Memphis Tigers 7-1. Now, full disclosure, I'm watching the basketball game as well. So if I get a little bit spaced, I'll give updates. So there might be basketball spoilers if you haven't watched a bit of the game. So keep that in mind over the next 15 or so minutes. But Ole Miss did what they needed to do. Now, one of the problems that they had is I despise three outcome hitting. I do. And you look up and they walked a whole bunch. They hit a couple of home runs and you're like, wow, they have one single. That's all. That's the only normal hit that they've gotten in this game. They've gotten one single. And if it wasn't for Memphis walking over and over again, this game could have been a little bit problematic. Now, there was a couple of home runs. Judd Utermark ended up with 5 RBIs. He had 2 moonshots. I think he hit one into the parking lot in left field, completely out of Swayze Field. But he had 5 RBIs on the night. And you look at Topher Jones, he had 1 RBI solo home run later in the game. It was a situation to where runs were scored basically off of the home runs, and there was no manufacturing runs. There was no general offense. It was kind of a one-trick pony. Ole Miss had 6 hits over the course of the game. Now, 3 of them were home runs, but 6 hits over the course of the game. That's not going to fly, especially when you consider, I think Memphis is 3-7 or something like that. You look at their Dom Decker went 0 for 2 in this game, though he did walked 3 times, and he managed to score twice. Judd Utermark, 2 for 4, 5 RBIs, 2 home runs in the game. He also walked once. Colin Reuter, 1 for 2. He walked 1 time as well. Tristan Bissetta drew the collar, 0 for 4, 3 strikeouts. Will Furniss drew the collar, 0 for 3, 1 walk. Sermons, 1 for 4. Topher Jones, that 1 for 4, but it was a home run. Braden Randall, 1 for 3. Hayden Federico, 0 for 3, but he managed to walk. How many times? He did not manage to walk. I thought he got hit or something over the course of the game. I may be thinking of somebody else. That may have been Randall. But when you look at this offense, they scored enough to win. Obviously, 7 runs against Memphis with the way they threw the ball. You're going to win. The Twirlers just dominated the box for Ole Miss. I say that because pitching-wise, it kind of was an old-timey performance, really. It reminds you back in the other days, you had left-handers throwing 87 miles an hour, but throwing a lot of junk and always throwing strikes, and you had trouble just getting contact with it. I mean, Grayson Gibson was the second pitcher in the game, pitched 4 innings, got the win in the game. He faced 12 batters, struck out 5. It was phenomenal. He did not give up a hit over 4 innings. It was over for Memphis at that point because of the midweek performance that Grayson Gibson put on. Owen Kelly started this game, 1 hit, or 3 hits, 1 run. Sorry about that. It was earned, and he did walk a batter as well. He had 5 Ks for the game. He has an ERA for the season of 0.90, by the way. Interesting stuff. Landon Waters got the end of the game performance, the last inning of the game. Gave up a walk, struck out 2. Ole Miss was able to just dominate on the hill. This was a game that they needed in a lot of ways, but I would have been happier if they would have just dominated from the very beginning of manufacturing runs and playing old style baseball, kind of leaning into that dirtbag stuff. I think it would be interesting to see that instead of, hey, we're going to bat and practice, play long ball. So it's interesting, when you look at what's happening, but it kind of is what it is. Good performance by the team. Basketball team, by the way, is up by 2 points with about 5.5 minutes left. And Vandy's at the line. Like I said, I appreciate you coming in, but I imagine a lot of people are watching that game. And if you don't want spoilers, this is not the place to be. All right, when we come back, we will put the finishing touches on this reaction as well and kind of get our bearings going into tomorrow's game against the North Alabama Lions and get ready for the Evansville Purple Aces over the weekend. This is the Locked On Ole Miss podcast. What if sports were traded like markets? Now you can put your sports IQ to work in real time with Robinhood prediction markets. It's not you against the house. It's you participating in a live market. You can buy or sell your positions live all game long. Use your sports knowledge in the moments that matter. Robinhood prediction markets changes the game. It's people moving the action. So when momentum shifts, you can move with it. I always knew the game, but I never had a dynamic way to apply that knowledge. Now I can actually take part live in market powered by people. You're no longer just a spectator. Play by play, you decide. Trade every play with Robinhood, now available across the U.S. Download the Robinhood app now to begin. Futures and cleared swaps trading involves significant risk and is not appropriate for everyone. Event contracts are offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC and a registered futures commission merchant swap firm. And workplace chaos, deadlines stacking up, inbox overflowing, and one position you have to fill still sitting open when the pressure's on and you need the right hire. This is a job for sponsored jobs. Indeed, sponsored jobs helps you reach the people who are actually looking for skills, experience, location. So you're not just hoping for the right candidate for them to stumble across your post. And here's the stat that says it all. In the last minute I've been talking to you, companies like yours have made 27 hires on Indeed, according to Indeed data worldwide. So if you're hiring, spend less time searching and more time interviewing candidates who check all your boxes with Indeed sponsored jobs. Spend less time searching, right? Searching. So when you need the right person to cut through the chaos, this is a job for Indeed sponsored jobs. And listeners of this show will get $75 of sponsored job credit to help you get your job the premium status it deserves at Indeed.com/podcast. Just go to Indeed.com/podcast right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? This is a job for sponsored jobs. And college basketball is nonstop. Big games, tight spreads, momentum swings every single night from early tip-offs to late-night West Coast shootouts. There's always action on the board. Now with FanDuel, they're giving you a way to turn that energy into a bigger potential win with college basketball parlay profit boost. You can build any college hoops parlay you want, rivalry games, ranked matchups, or whatever. You can mix spreads, totals, player props, and match how you see the slate playing out. Then you can apply that profit boost and instantly bump out the potential payout. Look at the odds around your team. If they're in season, go with them. If they're out of season, you might want to go to basketball, or heck, you may want to find a team that is doing pretty well, like Arizona or something like that. It's your parlay, your style, now with more upside behind it. FanDuel.com. Do us a favor, like, subscribe, and comment on the video. Subscribe to the podcast on whichever audio podcast you're listening to and give it a 5-star review. It costs nothing, but it keeps all of this free. Thank you for making Locked On Ole Miss your first listen of the day, and thank you for making Locked On the #1 sports podcast network. You already live your team every single day. Now take it up a level and go ad-free. Join the Everydayer Club today and get Locked On Ole Miss with no interruptions, members-only Discord access, and more, all for just $5 per month or $50 per year. Go to lockedonolemiss.supercast.com or check the link down in the show notes below. All right, so Ole Miss has North Alabama coming up tomorrow evening, a game that they should win. I'm expecting after they wore the cream jerseys tonight, they'll be wearing the powder blues tomorrow night. And it's just a game, get the win. You know, that Baylor game happened. And right now that Baylor game is just something that you want back. Because if that game goes the other direction, you're thinking completely differently about this season. And there's nothing you can do necessarily about that. We're going to do reaction after that North Alabama game and get ready for the Evansville Purple Aces game. We're going to talk to Chad Smith next week. Tomorrow during the day, we're going to talk to Brian Smith a little bit about, I don't know, kind of that NIL thing potentially in the state of Mississippi. We'll talk about that. And we'll talk about some other stuff that he might be interested in. And on my show, we talk about that. We talk about the new profit sharing monster going through. What is it, like pooling of rights that they're trying to get? Turns out LSU is involved in that. And it's weird that LSU is going against the SEC right now. And it's not a great look for what's going on because the SEC has come out completely against everything that stands for, and yet the governor of Louisiana and the president of LSU are at that event. Interesting. I don't know if there's anything malicious going on, but it's at least interesting, something you have to pay attention to. So we'll talk about that tomorrow, and we'll also talk about the commitment that Ole Miss got in the transfer portal, a kicker from Appalachian State. Jackson Moore is his name. He is committed to Ole Miss. I don't think he's going to play next year, but he got a transfer portal commit, and he is in Oxford, Mississippi. So we'll see exactly what is going on there. We got this question coming up from Brent Logue. What is your opinion on tonight's game? Well, if you're talking about the baseball game, I'm happy that they got the win they needed. They pitched the ball extremely well. They fielded the ball extremely well. I was not happy with the offensive output. The lack of manufacturing runs puts you at the mercy of the other team walking batters at times, and I did not like that. The pitchers were amazing. It's one of those things I just refer to it. The Ole Miss twirlers were commanding the box in the game tonight, and they were excellent. They were fantastic. And you need a performance similar to that tomorrow. You need to throw strikes. You need to field the ball. You need to not help the other team. If you can not help the other team, you're going to be better off than not. So that's kind of what I think about tonight's game. Win's a win. Fantastic. 7-1. I'll take it. Not exactly happy with the offense. I hate 3 outcome hitting. The pitching staff, the fielding was a whole lot better. The base running, they didn't beat themselves. And that's important to realize and important for that. So I hope that answers your question, what's going on, because they have a chance to be a really good team. They have a chance to be a really mediocre team. This is a high ceiling, low floor team, and it's all because of that 3 outcome hitting. So as long as the swing and miss can go away. I thought tonight putting Reuter in at catcher took some of the swing and miss out of the lineup that Austin Foley needs. He needed a break. He was not making contact very much, but that allows you to put like somebody like Topher Jones or somebody else in the lineup that can juice up the contact. But yeah, that's what I'm thinking about that. We're going to stay on the air for until the end of this basketball game. Ole Miss and Vandy 68-68, 2:48 to go in the game. So we'll talk about that. If you have a comment, bring those out as well. We'll talk about it, but we're gonna stick around for this as well. They beat the Auburn Tigers recently. They have a chance to go back to back. So we'll see exactly what it looks. He says, "You're a beast on the podcast. Love it. Thank you so much." Yeah, really interesting stuff. The stuff that I've been talking about, Cody Campbell, who is the head of this Texas Tech group that wants to do the Save College Football thing. He's going to be meeting with the president on Friday with all the leaders. He's going to be in the room. He originally wanted to come on my podcast, and I'm not going to say beg, but he insisted that he come on and like, hey, let me try to convince you and all that. When he realized that, no, the gig is up on this, he has basically ghosted me this week. That's okay. I mean, he's a billionaire. He has the right to do that, but it kind of shows how far I am on that, because I am going to die on the hill of all this. Now, I may not take it to 2:48 if we're going to do the review thing every 30 seconds. I may not do that. But this basketball team, they're playing a lot better. I'm impressed with the improvement of Eduardo Klafke and how he looks. I'm just talking about body language. He's somebody that has the body language. Are they really reviewing that? The Vandy player has him under the arm. Absolutely nuts. Yeah, I think I'm going to let you watch the game because it looks like they're going to do the replay thing, and this could take 35 minutes. So thanks again for tuning in today. It's the Locked On Ole Miss podcast. We're going to continue to talk basketball, baseball, all that good stuff. So make sure you subscribe and follow the show so you get all the latest episodes. We're on all the social channels as well, so check that out if you never miss an episode. The Everydayer Club is built for you. Get Locked On Ole Miss ad-free, plus members-only Discord access and more. Head to lockedonolemmiss.supercast.com to join the club. For those of you on video, we're going to send you on over to the first ever 24/7 National Locked On Podcast Network YouTube channel. On audio, make sure you make your second listen Locked On College Football or Locked On SEC. Both good options. We're going to get out of here so you can sit down and watch the game and enjoy what's going on. 68-68 right now as we walk away. 2:48 to go. We will talk to you later, and I hope everybody has a good day. Howdy toddy, y'all.